Welcome back to Ultimate Alchemy. And it's time to do some fighting, I think. We've obviously been doing a lot of building over there in our base. Over here, I've built an obsidian platform just with some glowstone on top. I may well put another layer in, I'm not quite so sure yet. But this should be a suitable fight because we're going to have to, fight arena, because we're going to have to fight various mobs to get any further. Now, to get further, I wanted a source of regeneration. So there were two options that I could find quickly. One is the environmental controller, which is the one I eventually made. The other one, I think, is a pendant from Botania, I want to say. Is it Tainted Blood? No, it's one of these. Yeah, there we go. Tainted Blood pendant with brew revitalization. That needs a gas tier, however, and it needs me to, yeah, definitely gas tiers. That needs a player tier drop, which goes back through purifying bath salts and yada yada yada. We could do it, but environmental control lets us do the same thing. However, to do that, we need to get an iron golem started. So let's put an iron golem down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then some pumpkins. You can just put it in your fighter grow machine, and that will make ourselves an iron golem. We then make some syringes. It's just a bottle with a couple of pieces of iron, and we just sort of left click for a while until the syringe is full. Doesn't take very long. That is enough. And I'm just going to get a few more off camera, and then we'll combine them for the upgrade to the environmental controller. And that was the easiest fight we're going to have to do today. So the one we want is this Regeneration Plus. That gives us Regeneration 3, and that will do us pretty well. So in order to do that, we need an original Regeneration environmental module, and we can make one of those, and then we can make the upgrade. There we go. So we've already got one. Good. And that we then need to maybe think about, I'm not sure if you need a shape card. It says area radius. Let's go and put this down. And I just need another flux point of some kind, because this does take power. It's not free, unfortunately. But it should be fine. There we go. And let's go and see what else it needs, because I have some shape cards already if it does need those. So down here, here's the center of the arena. I'm not sure what the range of this is, but I want it to be up to a radius of radius 50. Wow, okay. I don't need that large, but okay. We can bring that down actually to 15 is the limit to the platform, so 16 should be enough. And there we go. And then I want to put that upgrade in, and then we can attach a flux point. It doesn't much matter where we attach it to. Let's select our overclock power, and it should have this. So I now have regen 3, and just to be doubly sure, yep, I have it up here. You can see at the top left of the screen. Ooh, did I run out? No, still fine. Just don't see it on my screen. Fine, so I guess there are a whole bunch of other things you could apply. Environment. We could add speed. Haste, not going to need. Saturation, not going to need. Feather falling, nope. Flight, we already have. Peaceful. I just remember, I was going to say, can we make the wither peaceful? But no, unfortunately not. Water breathing, night vision, we don't need any of those. And then it'll inflict debuffs on other things when it works on mobs. So we can make them slower, poison them, make them weaker, blind them, stop them from teleporting, but that's probably only if they're Endermen. And then luck will probably be looting, and then glowing, well, presumably the light source. So we could apply some of these. Let's just see what the cost from these are. So slowness, that's actually pretty cheap. And poison, we have to get cave spiders. We don't have those. Weakness, bat, squid. Okay, so the only one that's useful is probably going to be the slowness one. But why don't we just do that? Because, hey, that will be that's an easy upgrade, as soon as it can deal with multiple of those upgrades. So let's just get the slowness. Yeah, just needs the clock to be made. And we've got the slowness module. So let's do that as well. And pop you in here. It shouldn't have any appreciable effect on our particular power source. We should have more than enough power to do that. All right, and now we got to think about what you do as a fight in here. So to get to the Gaia Guardian, which is what we're going to have to do, we first need to get through the wither. To get to a wither, we need these wither skeleton skulls, And that shouldn't be hard. If we just put, let's just put, say, 24 drops of evil in here. Yep, there we go, 6 buckets. And it's 1 bucket per, oh, this fills automatically, doesn't it? And it's got 2048 in it. That's not so good. Actually, let's just do it manually then. Yeah, let's just do it manually in this one. I can put skeleton skulls in. It shows them, unfortunately, with a blank texture, but other than that, they do or should work. And we've got wither skeleton skulls. So we can just collect them. Yeah, it should be pretty fast. There we go. And of course, we've got 3 already, and we only need 3, of course, for the wither. Alright, we do need soul sand, however. Do I have soul sand, or is it a recipe of some kind? I don't think I've been making it. Oh, it's just atomic reconstructor with sand. Okay, that's even better. Sand. Let's just make a whole stack of this stuff then. Take the lens of colour out if it's in already, and drop the entire stack in. Hit the button. Soul sand, or at least some soul sand. Maybe it's at a power. It's probably a power limit. Yeah, it only seems to do 14 at a time. Fair enough. I will get this whole stack though. I definitely want the full stack. We may well do a machine to automate the wither killing. We can use Draconic Evolution's mob grinder to do that, so it's not terribly hard either way. But we now have all the components we need for the wither. Let me put some of this other stuff away. We don't need the pumpkins anymore. Obsidian, I don't think I need more platform, but if I do, I have plenty in there. I've got nearly 10,000 of it, so that's pretty fine. And we can knock that one off the list because we've made it. And I will just make sure I keep some of that. So that's enough for one wither. Now, in order to get prepared for fights out there, we're going to need some armor, because my current Thorncraft armor is not terribly good at protecting me, nor goggles are revealing. I did craft a Sojourner's sash that is from Botania. It's a very straightforward recipe, just a couple of brief runes and some leather. The next upgrades to it, unfortunately, need the Gaia Spirit as well, so we can't upgrade that. And then the final one is the Plain Strider's sash, I want to say? I assume so. And yeah, we need the Sojourner. No, hang on. No, that's not. I think that's the one that accelerates. It's kind of weird when you actually move around. I don't actually want that one. I just want this the speed one. In any case, no good armor. So we actually need some armor going. For that, I decided to look at fluxed stuff. So fluxed electrum. We've already used it to make the skull out of these flux armor platings. So you'll see here's the dragon prosthetic skull. So I thought, well, we've already got the equipment set up for that. Why don't we have a look and see if that's actually worthwhile? So for this, as normal, so 5 for the helm, 8 for the chest piece. So that will be what, 13, 7, so 24 flux armor platings. Each of those require flux electrum plates, but more importantly, flux crystals, and these are diamonds. So we need 24 diamonds to be able to do this. So I've started up the diamond press again, and then we have to look at compressing this. So if we want 24 pieces, that also is times 4. So pretty much we want about 100 fluxed electrum ingots, and just manually moving buckets of redstone around, not terribly fond of that idea. So instead, what I thought I'd do is just add on to this setup. Let's just actually get all of that stuff in there. Add on to this setup so that it will automatically feed in destabilized redstone, and I can just take in some buckets from here, put them in, and they'll fill up. The crafter will pick them up and take in electrum blend, which comes from the top up here, and together they will create fluxed electrum, which we can then just basically produce everything else with. So let's get some more electrum. I did make another stack of blend just because I assumed I'd need more than the 100, because we're going to need swords and bows and other stuff like that as well to get that going. And we're actually pretty well out of redstone. It's actually on its way, but yeah, so got a full stack there. So we can then put that into, I would assume, do we have to, sorry, what do we need for that? Flux electrum, just an induction smelter with some sand. Yeah, that's going to be straightforward. Sand, there we go. And that should be a full stack started. Wow, we've already got some. There we go. So flux electrum, and then we'll just put it straight into the compactor, and that'll make plates. Now, while that's going on, in fact, let's just put that away. We're also going to need weapons. So if we have a look at fluxed electrum again, fluxed electrum, and have a look at what that can make. One, there's a quiver, and I don't need all that much for that, the quiver, actually. I would assume what this does is make infinite arrows. At least that's what I hope it would do. Okay, it's just going to make this thing a little bit more difficult for me. I need the straw feathers. Yeah. They'll make regular feathers, which we can then use to make said arrows. Which we can then use to make the quiver, hopefully. Yep, so one quiver. And that's charging because it's on our wireless network, so it's in my inventory. There we go, 320,000. Good, hopefully that does mean that I can use that as a quiver with arrows. Let's look at the bow. So flux infused bow needs flux infused obsidian rod. So that needs a couple of diamonds in the flux crystal form and an obsidian rod. And I just use those up. How many diamonds do we have yet? 51. Okay, I restarted the machine, so it's nice to see we've got enough of those. They all need to go into the same machine over here to actually pick up, instead of buckets, we can just fill this with diamonds and have those diamonds automatically converted into flux crystal. Flux, whatever the equivalent is. They'll go up here, flux crystals, there we go. So we're going to need 2, that'll do for now. It'll produce more. But in the meantime, we shall put those in there. Oops, in fact, we could just use them straight away, couldn't we? There we go. And that will mean flux... Is it flux infused? Something like that. The bow should be in here. There it is. Flux infused bow. And we just need some string. Is that special string? No, just regular. Okay. Why don't I have string? Did I use it all up? Yeah, I must have used it all. Yeah, because we were processing it, weren't we? Let me go and fix that. Okay, I just nabbed some out of the system, so we'll grab that while the rest of it gets used up. And that's getting charged as well. We're also going to want the sword, I would have thought. Well, we'll give it a go with that sword anyway. So that needs another one of these fluxed infused, which I just need to just go and grab the crystals for. That will do. They're building up anyway, but we're going to need them built up for the plating regardless. So 1, 2, you can get done. And then we've got a sword as well. And they have an empowered version by pressing V, I think it is usually. Let me just put this on my inventory slots. We're not going to need the rest for this stuff, I don't think. Yep. Let's just test the bow. Does it actually, well, as long as there's no problems with recharging this, does it fire? Yep, it does fire. This is going to work just fine. There isn't a recharge point over there, so I could build a flux plug and some kind of controller for that. But, in fact, let's go over there. Now, if I press V, it does empower, and if I fire it, is it going to recharge straight away? Oh, we can empower the quiver as well. It's either charging straight away, or it is just that much capacity that it doesn't even make a dent. Fine, no problem either way. Did I remember just to do the thing I did for Draconic Evolution in Stone Block, which is I want to make sure that it doesn't try and charge when I'm holding it. Yeah, there it is. So it's not charging when I'm holding it, and then it doesn't get those issues. But when I'm not holding it, it does charge up. Good. Fine, now we're on to armor, and that is generally just a lot of plating. So I'm not going to show much of this on camera other than just to recap. We need to make flux plate. And we've got most of the ingredients for it. I just need to take out the flux electrum and put them through the compactor. And we will then just go and refill this with buckets. And that will continue to make more electrum, flux electrum. There we go, more of that. And we can pop this. Do I have sand left? No, need to pick up more sand. And we'll make probably a full 2 stacks of this stuff. I'll then put it through the compactor. That'll make plates, as you just saw. Plates should be in there now. Yep. And then this recipe will make fluxed armor plating. But I think what I'm going to do is take those out and just, in fact, I don't even need to take them out of the system. We'll just prepare a recipe to actually make this for us. So fluxed. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So as and when these kind of stuff goes into the system, we can just tell it to craft for us. And flux. There we go, craft. So I want 5 for the helm. Do you have enough for 5? You do. Okay, and does it have an upgrade? It may be able to be enchanted, but let's give it a go. Start off with. That's charging up already. And since it doesn't have a sort of number on it, a condition, whatever you want to call it, capacity, other than charge, it should just hold its protection all the way through. It should just deplete the RF charge. So once that's complete, once it's charged, I'll put it in my my slots, and then we'll go and fight a wither, hopefully. Okay, are we ready for a wither fight? Let's give this a go. You'll see I've got all my armor on now. It can be enchanted still further with soulbound and all kinds of other stuff, but I'm not going to worry about it just yet. If that happens, that happens. Not something I'm going to worry about. So 1, there we go, and 1, 2, 3. And let's first of all just empower all this stuff, and let's see whether, or how well this weaponry works. Shall we? Let me go. Are you ready? Oh. Okay, it does work rather well. Although, it did blow up a glowstone. And there we go. Hopefully you should be dead. And hopefully I should have a nether star. I do. Please not have blown that. Oh, it hasn't blown that up. Good. I should have put some more obsidian down. We got 1 nether star. Oh, wow. Good enough for me to get started, but we're going to need more than that to get through to the dragon skull, the dragon head. We're going to need to fight the Gaia Guardian. So for the Gaia Guardian fight, we're going to need some pylons. And first of all, we're going to need some mana pylons, but those are fairly straightforward by comparison to the others. So let's just make 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to want some elementium. I think we've already got some of that. Yep. That's just mana steel thrown through the elf portal. And then we want pixie dust. And do I remember what pixie dust is? We've got 2 of it already, so I must have... and mana pearls. Okay, so we're going to want probably, I want to say 8. Is it going to be 8? Yeah, we're going to need 6 pixie dust. That means ender pearls. And I've got 10. Good. We'll convert 6 into mana pearls and throw them through the portal, and that will get us everything we need, hopefully. So let's just get those 6, throw them through the portal. And that gets us everything we need there. We can then, I've just put my wireless terminal away just while I'm fighting stuff, so let's put those there, those there. And that gives us Gaia pylons, of which we need 4. We also need a beacon. And any old beacon will do, but of course we need a nether star for that. I'm going to use up my soul nether star rather than duplicating it. We can duplicate it with Thorncraft, but I just don't have all the essential for it. I'm not going to worry too much about that, because I can always fight it, and we can see we can always win. So that's not a problem. And we're going to want some iron blocks as well. And then we want the Lexica Britannia, and I'm probably going to need to make some Terra Steel as well, but we'll come back to that in a second. Let me just get the rest of this down. So if we go into here, can I go back? And back again, maybe? No, I don't want to share. There's the back button. Okay. So if I'm in the index, I'm just going to go to the Ritual of Gaia. And there we go, visualize. That's the option I want. So right click any block to anchor this structure preview to it. That will do. It would be nice if it would actually anchor. Do I need to put a block down? Let me just put a block of iron down. Right there. Oh, and now it's anchored. Great. 1 second. There we go. You're anchored. Good. I'm just going to build this one higher than where it is, so just so you know, that's not exactly where I'm going to put it, but I just need to make sure I'll put it one higher. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can go on top. This just gives me a visual guide for where I want this, and if I cover these up, it means that I get them in the right place when I put them on top. Although we don't really want the iron blocks from that point onwards, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we can take these back out. Assuming that I had a tool that I could use to take these back out. Where's my AIoT when I need it? I'll go and make some Terra Steel. That's the next step. And I apologise in advance because this fight tends to be a little bit loud and filled with a sort of rock anthem. So, yeah, I may well have to cut this down in post, but here we go. Should right click? Alright. Empowered, 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 and where is it going to pop up first? Avoid the pink stuff. Now, if I remember rightly, just avoid the pink. It tends to only have a maximum size. Let me just get rid of this with the sword first, whereas the birds, bats. It has a maximum sort of amount of damage you can apply to it, so be a bit careful in that you can't really do it that much damage. It would be nice to be able to insta-jib it, but we can't do that. So instead, and we should get to the second phase of the fight once we get through this section. That should be any time now. Okay, so in it goes. And it's going to start summoning lots of creatures. And we get explosions from the empowered bow. I love this thing. Yep. Much better than any other bow that I know of, especially in empowered mode. And it should make the second phase of the Gaia Guardian fight trivial and quite easy. I'm not sure how many more phases in this sort of challenge event it has. Shouldn't be that many. Which, and that's down as well. Are you finished? You look to be. And one more. There we go. One Gaia Guardian fight, hopefully with some loot. Where's my loot? Did I blow up my own loot? Oh. I'm going to have to make another Terra Steel now. And a second fight later, I have 8 Gaia Spirits. Now, I'd use the empowered version of the sword rather than the bow. Just doesn't cause explosions, but it does cause a lot of damage, of course. So, yep, I definitely like all of those just fine. And we can put them away now, I would have thought, at least for a while. And I want to get my AIoT again. And we're back in peaceful mode. Okay. So the Gaia Spirit will then let us make the tongue. And we're going to need some seeds, I assume. So seeds and the rest of the recipe. So over here, I have the chest with the rest of it in. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And I only want 1 Gaia seed. So let's just drop all these in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the seeds. There we go. And we have the dragon tongue, which is what we were looking for the whole rest of this recipe. And now we're pretty much set up. I've moved the jars for Tenebrae, for Spiritus, and for Alienis closer. They are just out of range here, so I maybe need to build this chamber smaller in future mod packs. However, we've got all 3 of those nearby now, so I just need to put the prosthetic skull right there. And then the caster's gauntlet, which replaces the wand kind of thing. And this apparently is very stable. We'll see when we kick this off. Okay, so it's immediately taking the Spiritus. Good. And let's hope it doesn't go anything other than very stable. Things will go very bad. Not that I tried this before and had one of my scales deleted. Yes, that's one iridium deleted. Trust me, you don't want that to happen. You really, really don't want that to happen for your nickel supplies. In any case, fixed now. Still very stable, and it's taking the Tenebrae, which is the last bit of the essentia, and then it should start absorbing ingredients. So this is the painful part, because if this goes wrong, oh my, yes, it can get very expensive very quickly. So there it goes. It's starting to take the fangs in. It's left the bottle behind, but it's taking the dragon's breath. Around we go. It's absorbing their dragon eyes. Oh, both scales are now gone. And the hide. And we have a dragon head. Oh, complete. A dragon head. Wow. Took so long to get this far. Okay, so a dragon head will now let us automate. Away you go. And Draconium is the next step. Draconium is something we need to build using a metal press. So I need the manual. And I can never remember exactly what the ingredients are. So if we go into the manual and type in press, the metal press, we need steel scaffolding, redstone engineering blocks. Let me get those together and we'll actually start running Draconium. Okay, I'm just going to put this down here. I think I'm going to set it one lower than I normally would. So let me just put it into the floor. It just block less if I do it this way. And so I think it's steel scaffolding at the bottom. Is it engineering or is it heavy in the middle? Let's have a look. Let's see, redstone. Redstone, then a piston. And then the heavy engineering block. And we can turn the piston with a hammer, I think. It needs to point downwards, but let's just get this conveyor belt sorted first. Going that way, I think. There we go. Will you let me turn you? There we go. That's right. And do I have to hit the redstone block? Probably. No? Oh, just the piston. Fine, no problem. And that looks pretty nice. Actually set into the floor. We hide the bottom layer of it. And on this side, we just have to insert what we're going to need for Draconium. And Draconium... there we go. Into a metal press. It's just bricks. So we're going to need to make bricks anyway. It's just made from gravel. Brick. And I've already got a stack of them, so we'll just use that. And will a piston work? Not piston, a hopper, just something basic. And we'll just put a larger chest on the other side. Yeah, slightly larger chest. We need two of them, actually. Well, we don't need, but yeah, it's fine. And I probably will start... I'll construct a stack upwards or something to actually get this to work. So if I see if I can remember how to attach to a conveyor belt. Will you work if I put... I need to put the dragon head in. Oops. It just doesn't fit whatsoever. Will that start flowing? Once it has enough? No, that's not going to work. We'll have to drop them, possibly. Dropping them should work, so let's just give that a try. You're not going to work either. Okay. That's the dragon head removed. I want to remove you. How about right-clicking them? One at a time? Nope. You're not having any of it. Okay, I'll need to get probably the inserter versions of the conveyor belts, but on the other side, we should just be able to put it in any kind of chest. I think it just feeds into it. And we'll give that a go. So let me just get some of the other conveyors running. It just needs some leather, I think, to get that running. Extraction conveyor. Dropping conveyor belt. No. Splitting. Vertical. Extracting. Needs bits and pieces. Yeah. Let me figure something out. It probably was just working fine. It just needed some power, and I forgot that the belt doesn't actually start going through to the press part until it has power. That's fine, just my mistake. And we should be able to just drop some power on top. I should use a flat transfer node. We could use a hopper, but that's slightly tidier and slightly nicer looking. So let's just pop you on top and select the right network. Okay, and through you go. There we go. It's not terribly fast, but I guess we could speed that up if we wanted to. But it is making Draconium. Great. And we can just feed bricks into this side. That's not going to be too hard to make, however. Bricks, recipe, bricks. And we can probably feed an importer on the other side, so we don't need to actually worry about this too much. Bricks. I want this brick. It's just a gravel in a smeltery of some kind, and we can make a redstone furnace for that. That's not a big deal. And the gravel, I don't want that recipe particularly. We can just export from the system, maybe. Do we have lots of gravel? Let's take a look. Can we craft it any other way? Crush it from cobblestone, but yeah. How much do we have? Gravel. We have 16,000. That's more than enough. So all I'm going to do then is just build an exporter. And an importer. We already have. And then we'll just grab a, what was I going to say, some cable? Yeah, some cable and a piece of gravel just to nominate what item we want to go in. So again, with this, we could get rid of the chest entirely, but I just kind of like them as being sort of a placeholder. So let's just knock the ceiling through here. And ceiling through here. And this one's the importer. Yeah, that'll do. This one's the exporter, and we'll need to nominate the item on this one. So let's just grab you. And in fact, no, I don't want that to export gravel. I want it to export bricks. And we need to basically put them through a redstone furnace first. So I need to have this one further down. And redstone furnace. And we need to get power to this as well, so that's something to think about. Redstone furnace. Furnace? What are we missing? Machine frame? Straightforward. Redstone. I'm running out of gold, actually. We use quite a lot. So let's just get that in place. That can just go right there. And it's going to output to the top, so input from the bottom, output to the top, and we will have to get some power into it as well. I'm just going to knock this through for now. And we could run it from the metal press and run it underneath, but that's not a problem. We can just make another flux point. It's just fine. Flux point, start. On there. Select network, overclocked, job done. And then we just put the exporter on the bottom for gravel. And then just run cables. Where's the nearest cable? I guess this side? Yeah, this side should do. And let's run it this way. There we go. That'll now be on. And this side we also want to run cables. We can run it any way we want, but it's just really going to import that. So it'll import it into the rest of our network. And then we should start seeing Draconium. Yep, starting to pile up. Good. And that is Draconium done. Great, my entire wall's gone this episode. Good. All right, so what do we need to do from there? Well, we need to get to the end of the pack, of course, which is clay. A single piece of clay. And to get that, we're going to have to transform a nether star, so we're going to have to get more nether stars anyway, but we need all of this other stuff. And it needs to be in a chaotic tier fusion crafting. Okay, so the fusion crafting cores, that's fine. Just need some diamonds and some draconic cores, which is, I'm going to start up gold again to get that back. Lapis lazuli blocks, that's fine. But aside from the core, there's also the injectors, and it's going to need 9 of them at chaotic tier. So the injectors, this is the chaotic tier. Okay, so it's going to need each of the previous tier to get any further. So we're going to need dragon eggs, but we already know we can make those. They're just from the egg yolk in the smeltery. Chaotic cores, it needs chaos shards, it needs chaos fragments. Can they actually be made from anything other? I would assume that we can make them, because it wouldn't require us to go to the end. Otherwise, we don't really want to do that if we can do this any other way. Maybe I have to figure that out. If we have to fight the Guardian, then that means I have to go through here. I have to get these out of the way and go into the end. But we'll see. Well, I'll take a look at that between the episodes. So this episode, we've got all the way to Draconium, which I quite like. and we'll have lots of it available pretty soon. I'll figure out the injectors and we'll get further on and probably finish up the pack fairly soon now. So if any of you got any ideas about the next mod pack, I was looking at Enigmatica Expert. That seems like an interesting one. That will be quite a long series though. Any Expert mod pack needs a lot more automation than this kind of thing. This is kind of a challenge pack. It's fairly straightforward, but you don't require hugely parallel, sort of production to actually get through this mod pack. Anyway, put your ideas in the comments below. Hope you liked the episode. We've got the Wither fight done, the Gaia Guardian number 1 done. I don't know whether we need to do number 2, but we've certainly done number 1. And I have the... Ooh, actually, that's a good point to finish on. I have the Gaia shards I can upgrade with this. And was it called? Not the Sojourners, but it's the next one after that. Globetrotters? Globe. There we go. And that is actually straightforward. I just need to upgrade my belt by grabbing it and putting it there. And we'll get to the next tier up. Cool. I haven't made anything to actively recharge, to actively recharge this, but that's something I'll have to think about otherwise. I don't want it there. Sometimes belt slot, not shield slot, belt slot. There we go, and we're a little bit faster still. Yep, like it. Good, we'll finish this episode. Feel free to subscribe and share if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter at Greatester, or indeed click on the bell below and you'll get notifications either way there if you want them to. Most important of all, comment with other people if you have any comments to share, in particular how to do things better than I have. That's always worthwhile. Otherwise, as always guys, we'll see you next time and thanks for watching.